Back in March, the province announced the formation of a tourism economic recovery task force. Who better to chair the task force than former Ontario Minister of Tourism and Niagara resident Tim Hudak? In June, it released its 30-page report, including 10 recommendations. Tim, can you take us through the most important of those 10 recommendations in your eyes?
Yeah, you bet, Mike. Thanks for having me on the show. Really excited. I mean, we had the pleasure of working with tourism leaders from across Ontario, strong representation for the Niagara region, of course. Folks who, are worried about their businesses. They're worried about people that are on their teams, but they still rolled up their sleeves and got to work for Minister Lisa MacLeod. So I'd say, Mike, the number one thing on that report is to make sure we get a message out there of health and safety, that it is, when it is safe to travel, to do so. While we'll have some people like me and my family just can't wait to get out and about, we've been out and about our Niagara a lot, there is a certain portion of the population that is still going to be at home concerned. So health and safety in everything we do, number one. And number two on the list, the government needs to put the exact same amount of energy that they put in the last 18 months telling us to stay at home, to not interact, to reverse that course when it's safe to do so, to get out and about, see your family, see your friends, rediscover Ontario again. That should include the minister herself on tour. To her credit, she's doing that. She was in Niagara just this past week.
Tim, the task force was formed right after the Ontario budget was released this year. If I recall correctly, there was about $20 million allocated towards this initiative.
You're right about that, but the minister, MacLeod, she's a real scrapper. She went to bat for the industry. She listened, and there's been actually close to $1 billion in various programs to support the tourism, culture, recreation, and heritage sectors. So that's very good news. And we gave advice really on how to spend that. Here, let me throw another one at you that I really like, Mike. So the government did announce a travel incentive that there would be a 20% tax credit. So if you want to come down and stay in Niagara for 5 days, that fifth night will be on the tax bill. But we said, you know what, maybe we'll go a step farther. We all have in our wallets or on our phones loyalty cards, points cards. So could we try something similarly that could be physical or electronic that will allow people to travel further, spend more money? So for example, Prince Edward Island has a card. If you stay 2 nights in a hotel participating, you get a $100 gift certificate to put into local restaurants. That kind of thing we think would really work here too.
The report outlines a 6-month plan, another 6-month to 2-year plan, and then a 3 to 5-year plan. How will they be rolled out?
Right now, the report is sitting with the minister. They've acted on some recommendations. They said she's already out traveling across the province. As you mentioned, secured some funding for the programs. We also looked at the medium term and long term. Really, the major part of the report is about helping Ontarians create those special family memories again. Whether it's going to see the falls, going to the Shaw Festival, enjoying the bike trails in Niagara, or going to Northern Ontario. We've been at home for a long time. We've been locked in. All those long weekends are gone. So how do we get them back? So we really focus on Ontarians first. Next stage is other Canadians to come back to Ontario. Then the Americans, international travel. So we did have 3 parts, short, medium, and long term, but we really are focused with Ontarians to make this time ahead the year of the staycation. Another one important for Niagara, the Lottery and Gaming Corporation that helps to oversee the casinos, they spend a ton of money on advertising. So how about this? We use some of that money in advertising from the casinos to promote going to destinations. So they would travel to Niagara, for example. So pooling government resources and sharing that goal really of 2 things. Number one, helping people who sacrificed a hell of a lot this last year and a half to have those precious memories again, be with their families or see long lost friends. And number 2, let's not forget, Mike, well, I was fortunate enough to keep my job. You kept your job. A lot of people lost their job. So the big part of this is to help people, the men and women who are out of work or lost a lot of hours, to get them back on payroll, bringing home that paycheck, paying down the mortgage again. That's a big part of what we focus on.